Oh. I'm gonna laugh when we get to the very end of the game and the only reason for collecting all that stuff is some like Twitter post thing where you can like take a snapshot and post on Twitter how many bloody fangs you have into the game. Show your friends how many you've collected. Hashtag Final Fantasy XVI. Good morning. You're dead. Yeah, I like to keep trophies a secret so that I can check them when I finish the game and see how many I've gotten without knowing what they were. It's not a big deal, but it's just something I like to do. See how many I get kind of on accident as I play through and how many I have to go out of my way to get. You're all good, no worries. Why are the bombs so tanky? Yeah, get him, Torgal. Every time I see one of those gold things on the ground, I always get excited and then realize it's just skill. Imagine if enemies could, like, drop items. Weapons, even. That's not Titan. Man, whatever it is in my eye, I cannot get it out. It's been bothering me all day. It feels like back when I used to wear contacts, it's the feeling of having like a dry contact in your eye. But obviously it's not that. So I don't know what it is. Hurts though. Maybe I should try to like wash it out. That would probably be smart, huh? Let me go try it. I'll be back in just a second. I'm pretty sure we actually have had people do that before. Redeem Omnichair like right before the end of the stream. Not super close, but like an hour away from the stream ending. Alright. There's some bad guys afoot over there. See a doggo. Excuse me. I saw the Grimace Shake the other day. Kind of wanted to order one. They look good. Can anybody confirm or deny the quality of the Grimace Shake.
We're nearly there.
Have you been to Tabor before?
There are a few places I haven't.
Alright, that watchman's definitely doing his job.
Where now, Joshua?
There is a residence just inside the city gates. She awaits us within.
Let's barge in. It's a trap.
My Lord Marquis, it is an honor. I am Yotei, Knight of the Undying, charged with the protection of His Grace Joshua Rosfield, Keeper of the Flame of the Phoenix.
Of course. It all makes sense now.
Would you care to elaborate?
The Undying are loyal servants to the ducal throne. Or more specifically, to its heir. They have served our family for generations, albeit from the shadows.
Since their inception, they have been tasked with the preservation and enactment of the rites of ancestral communion. After the events at Phoenix Gate, it was the Undying who delivered me to safety.
There you go.
And since the day I left Rosaria, Yotei has been my constant companion and protector. Without her sword, I would not have survived my journey across the realm.
Rise, Lady Yotei.
Can we keep her? I like her.
You saved my brother. I owe you a debt I can never repay.
I but did my duty.
Come now. Tell us what you've discovered.
Your Grace. It is as you feared. The vessel we spied off the coast of the Crystalline Dominion on the night of her fall. It was the Einherjar. Beyond any doubt.
The Black Galleon.
Joshua, the Einherjar is the Royalists' flagship. What business would they have in the Dominion?
Upon learning of Waloed's involvement in recent events at Drake's Fang, I sensed the malign influence of Ultima, and bid Yotei and the Undying look into the matter.
We have reason to believe that the Black Galleon weighed anchor shortly after the fighting began, and set a course due south.
For Canva. Then it is Waloed knights who besiege the cities.
What is left of them, yes. And the Black Galleon sails at but one man's behest. Barnabas Tharm.
So they are trying to take over? Kind of? Or at least expand?
But are we truly safe here in the Agora?
The city guard have been paid, if that's what you're implying.
Oh, or must be safe then.
Reason for them to run.
Well, you are free to leave, Lord Minister.
Markets abandoned, warehouses aflame, blackened hulls choking every port in the capital. Canva is ruined.
The realm teeters on the brink of chaos, and all you can think about is commerce.
Forgive us. We were not aware Dhalmekia now subsisted on charity.
How dare you?
Distinguished members of the council, you must forgive His Majesty this intrusion.
What is the meaning of this?
They don't even stand up out of their chairs.
But I fear it will have to serve, my liege.
Very well. My colleagues, do you not see? The king! He has come to save us from the Akashic. He is a gift from the heavens, divine intervention, our very salvation.
And of course, if it is compensation he requires, we would be most willing to negotiate a fair price for services rendered.
Fools. Your ignorance unbecomes you.
Your Majesty, correct me if I'm wrong, but I would swear that the fiends washing the cobbles of Canva with the blood of her citizens wear the colors of Waloed. Ha! So you do not deny it. Guards, fetter them, and see our guests to the dungeons!
These have got to be like the biggest idiots on the planet.
Enough.
He's killed everyone in the room.
Pathetic creatures. That you should imagine yourselves worthy of salvation. The girl is still here, somewhere in the city. Her consciousness fair dripping with her late father's hubris. A consciousness to which Mythos is inextricably bound and inexorably drawn. See that he is made welcome.
Yes, Your Majesty.
Come, Mythos. Surely the prince's light cannot have sated you.
Oh, that's Odin, all right.
So then, how long has Waloed been under Ultima's control?
How long indeed? Based on what we know of Barnabas's actions, I would guess some few years, mayhap more.
But to what end? What does Ultima want?
The tapestry. Show them.
By the flames.
That's the same.
Phoenix Gate, Drake's Breath, and now here. But what is it?
It is old, ancient, even. Naught remains of the faith it represents, save what can be gleaned from the image itself.
Okay, wait. I'm a little confused. The two others were in Phoenix Gate. It was down where only Joshua could go, and in the other spot, I think it was Fang, right? It was like right next to the crystal. But this is just in some inn in Canver, which isn't even part of any of the kingdoms. And it just so happened to be in this room that we were standing in. And how would he even know that this was here? He was like, show him the tapestry. He hasn't even been in this room, has he? Well, I guess he said we were supposed to meet here. So I guess they had been in this room before. Maybe this is like their hideout or whatever. So maybe they took this from somewhere else and put it in here.
None None could tell me what the one in the apothecary meant. Even the Undying. But I believe it may be the key to discerning Ultima's purpose. That figure in the center, the one beneath whom the icons congregate, that I believe to be Ultima. He is a god, or at least godlike. His very existence beyond our ken. The icons, and by extension their dominance, are meant to be his subjects, and while some, like Barnabas, have accepted this role, others have rejected it. Like you, Clive, which is rather inconvenient, as it appears he needs you most of all. And gods don't like to be disobeyed.
No, I don't suppose they do.
Clive, may I tell Yote of the lake?
By all means.
Please, tell her anything.
Yote,
So she'll stay with
I will
us.
be accompanying my brother to the Free Cities. Whilst we are afield, I would have you watch over those Clive has made his wards. Omielos delan tuisag ilith. Though well concealed, the hideaway lacks trained fighters to defend its occupants should they be discovered.
But it is my duty to...
As it has ever been my brother's duty, remember.
If that is your wish, Your Grace. But please be safe. If aught were to befall you,
You have my word.
Farewell, my lord, my lady.
We are in your debt, Yote.
She's the best. Yote is the best. I want to see her fight. You haven't seen her fight yet. Apparently she's quite skilled.
Let's find our friends.
You know, I saw that more of a, like a, I don't know what to call it. Almost like the way you knight somebody, like...
It's plain she cares for you very deeply.
And I her, which is why I had to let her go.
Oh, that was cute. Yeah, I took that as like a ritual, not like a I love you kiss. I do think they have affection for each other, but that particular kiss felt more like a ritual kind of thing, you know what I mean? Oh my god, more side quests.
Opportunity beckons. Who among you is bold enough to heat? Is that blade for hire, perchance? Because I have a mind to make a killing.
Figuratively, I hope.
Well, yes and no. A passing caravan.
You have to make a killing
rumor most fortuitous
to make a killing.
Trade.
You know what I mean?
An elder Dread Evis had been sighted in the fields of Korava. Dread Evis are aggressive beasts. Compelled as they are to acts of violence, few survive to maturity. But those that do develop a hide of phenomenal value.
Like that one back there that girl is brushing?
Eventually, yes. Though I would have it tanned first that it might be crafted into marvels the likes of which the world has never seen. Dread Evis skin is a rare thing indeed. But the worked hide of a well-aged
I was told to get a dragon hide, so I got the dragon hide.
Coin that Gilbert himself might weep with envy. Bring me that beast's skin, and I will share with you the bounty of our combined labors.
All right. I'll hunt your Evis.
Of course you will. When one lives in such troubled times, it is a fool who lets opportunity slip his grasp. Leave Tabor through the east gate, but take the path that branches west. Once you reach the checkpoint at Tovani, you are a mere stone's throw from the fields of Korava. I eagerly await your safe and above all triumphant return.
That's still the best quote in the game. Your friend asked me to get rid of the wolves, so I got rid of the wolves. How do I get up there? What you got?
Here, take a look at my wares.
Nothing.
Go safely.
Hold on, I gotta see. I'm not selling them yet,
Welcome, welcome.
but I got some serious money stuff. That's like nothing. That's like whatever. So I got like $40,000, maybe 50,000 in Gil with all this stuff.
Go safely.
Not that much, but well, I just wanted to see the Gil items.
The strapping lad with the sword. Finally.
Milos, is that a Final Fantasy name? I feel like it is. Milos. Well, there's one in 14. That wouldn't be who I'm thinking of. There's one in Octopath Traveler, apparently. Never mind. For some reason, I was thinking Milos was like one of the main NPCs in like one of the retro Final Fantasies, or like one of the guest characters, but I must be thinking of someone else.
No one was paying me the slightest heed.
Is something wrong?
At the university, the students would hang on my every word. Sadly, this far from home, I just
Mylon's secret castle.
beard.
The university? You're a scholar.
A specialist in ancient cultures, the most accomplished in all Valisthea, some have said. Not that I look the part in these tattered rags. In my heyday, no obstacle could have kept me from my studies. Yet here I am, a wizened windbag, bested by the many steps of Tabor. The answers I seek lying just beyond my enfeebled reach. Would you do an old man a kindness and brave?
Wait, am I literally just walking up the stairs?
You'll be amply rewarded, of course.
I genuinely hope we just have to walk up the stairs.
And
memorize a few inscriptions for me, assuming you know your letters, that is. Some courteous soul is rumored to have carved clues to Tabor's rich history into stones dotted about the village. 3 of them, to be precise. One each to the north, south, and
DoorDash. DoorDash time.
I'm here in the hope that those carvings might shed light on a riddle I've been pondering for some time. Namely, the otherwise undocumented origins of Tabor's unique people. People quite unlike those of neighboring lands.
I can't promise I'll remember everything perfectly.
Remember what you can. I'll piece together the rest. Make for the domed pavilions, and you'll have no trouble finding the stones.
Reading, that's going to be a problem. That may prove to be quite the challenge. This one isn't even up any stairs. Just a ramp.
Indeed.
Wanderers of the Golden Plains, lay your roots in stone. With pride recall thy noble past, and make these rocks a home. Orcs.
Golden Plains might the wanderers have called home, I wonder.
Orcs are the answer. The answer is orcs.
Have you noticed the elders?
Not a scratch on them. These hides will fetch a good price.
So it's these stones to Canva and the rest of the box.
Guardians of the Crystal, the first stones of Tabor, sacred hold thy noble blood till ends the mother's labor.
No history would be complete without mention of the mother crystals.
Missing one.
How are those new boots treating you?
How were those new boots? Oh, this one. This one is like right next to him. Children of the hunters, now tillers of the land, reap her promised blessing and give praise her gracious hand.
Farmers must have settled here in Tabor. I should speak to the old scholar before I forget everything I've read.
See, Darth.
The engravings were in good repair considering their age.
Oh, would that I could have seen them for myself. Oh, come, don't tease me now. What did you learn of this place and its people? Let's start with the engraving to the south, shall we? What did it say?
Uh-oh. I know which one was which, but I don't know where the south is. Oh, never mind. I see. The great good Moogle Guardians.
Guardians of the Crystal, the first stones of Tabor. Sacred hold thy noble blood, till ends the mother's labor. I'm pretty sure that was it.
Fascinating. It would seem the founders of this city were descendants of those fallen charged with protecting the mother crystals. But whatever could have driven the Guardians so far from their sacred charges, I wonder? The engraving to the north is next, I think.
Wanderers of the Golden Plains, lay your roots in stone. With pride recall thy noble past, and make these rocks a home. Or, I think that was it, at least.
No doubt you're right. There are vestiges of nomadic customs in Tabor its guardian roots could never account for. This is proving most enlightening. Now, for the final...
I love how excited he is.
Children of the hunters, now tillers of the land, reap her promised blessing and give praise her gracious hand. That's all three.
And so, we add primitive farmers to Tabor's founding peoples, the final piece of the puzzle. 3 engravings, one for each of the 3 peoples to have settled Tabor in ancient times. Guardians of the Mother Crystal, wanderers from across the plains, and last but certainly not least, hunters turned farmers. Little wonder it was so difficult to trace the roots of Tabor's culture. Those
I would laugh if he just took our word for it and he's like, well, I guess we all have descendants of Moogles.
But wonder why this fact is not better known among scholars, given that the stones stand here for all to see.
Too many stairs, perhaps.
Ha! Too many by far. Here, and thank you.
What a jolly old man. Always enjoy a jolly old man quest, even though I got next to nothing from that. But that's per usual.
Careful how you pack that leather. Any creases or scratches will bring down the price.
Okay, should we teleport? Yeah. Looks like we'll probably do this quest and then be done for the day, which is probably good because we're probably going to get into the story here when we get down there.
The bandits may be known.
I think we made pretty good progress today. It's looking less and less like we'll be able to finish by Wednesday. The game's definitely starting to prolong now. And a lot of side quests are popping up. But that's okay. I'm more than happy to finish it when I come back, if necessary.
Let's go.
So I definitely want to do all the side quests on my first playthrough. What's really nice is... What's really nice is I don't feel like doing the side quests is making me like OP or anything, you know? Especially with the hunts, but... A lot of games, like Borderlands, has always had that issue where if you do too many side quests, the story just becomes a joke. And I think it's, like I talked about last week, it's really important to not do that because you want the bosses to feel difficult. If you just one-shot them, it kind of ruins the story in a way. Ruins the moment when the bosses are like mega easy, so I think they did a good job. Unfortunately, that means that the side quests end up kind of giving you nothing of importance, but it'd be better if the side quests gave you, you know, like the accessories for your builds, where it's not necessarily making you super strong, it's just kind of giving you stuff that you enjoy using more. Yo, Mav! Good to hear from you, man. Hope you're enjoying your vacay. I'm just gonna be gone a week. So just next week I'll be gone, then I'll be back. Yeah, the remake did it really well. It can be done well. It is possible. But some games really struggle with it. I find that looter shooters really struggle with that concept of not completely breaking the game with its side quests. I mean, to be fair, if you do all the side quests, you do want to feel relatively strong. You don't want to feel like the side quests were a complete waste, like they are in this game. But, you know, there's a balance. Like I said, like Borderlands in particular has always really struggled with that. If you do too many side quests, you legit one-shot the final boss. So, you know, it's all about the balance.
Enough.
Yeah, I love how the hunts are balanced, where you can do them early, but they're really difficult.
This thing reeks. The sooner it's off my hands, the better.
That was easy.
Here's your hide.
Yeah, man, hope you really enjoy your last day of vacation. It's really great to hear from you.
Quickly, let me see it. Oh, as supple as a maiden's cheek.
Don't say that.
Yet as adamant as her virtue.
Don't say that.
This is everything I'd hoped for, and more. Clearly, my
Let's calm
trust
down.
in you was not misplaced. You must be a hunter of considerable talent to have bested the beast with nary a scratch. Join me as my honored partner. With my means and your might, we shall be as wealthy as the merchant kings of Zemeckis.
I don't plan on making a habit of this. I'm busy enough as it is.
Very well. Though I believe fate had a hand in our meeting, it would be unbecoming of me to beg. Do not allow me to keep you from being about your business.
Oh god, just get really bright all of a sudden. See you, airheads. Thanks for hanging out. Oh, I got your message, by the way. I think I forgot to respond, but I got your message. And yeah, I'd be down to Diablo it up sometime. I guess we will go for it a little bit because we still got 25 minutes. That side quest was really quick. Give me a second, Mav. I'll answer that.
Cyril. How fares the search?
Well, Your Grace, my report shall be with you ere long.
I like that name.
Ah, yes. Yotei is otherwise engaged, at my behest.
And the duty of wardenship?
Fulfilled. For as you see, I've been reunited with my first shield.
I am Cyril, Knight of the Undying and bearer of the Burning Quill, charged with chronicling the mortal deeds of His Grace, Joshua Rosfield, Keeper of the Flame of the Phoenix, and rightful Archduke of Rosaria.
I entrusted Cyril here with overseeing the investigation into Ultima's origins. Findings from his brothers and sisters afield are delivered here to be collated and catalogued.
Just how many Undying are there?
Not nearly enough, milady. Yet we are glad to give our all in service to the Phoenix. Such is, and has ever been, our creed.
I see.
You have your associates, I have mine. But you may now think of them as ours. That won't be a problem, will it?
The Phoenix is our sun, and we but the shadows that quicken in his radiance. It is from the darkness that we serve, both him and now you. Pray accept this token.
It's another badge? Yes. We got them all. We're going to fight the Elite Four.
Members of our order will reveal themselves unto you, if there is nothing further.
No.
That'd be really cool if we went to like old towns and people were randomly like, hey, I'm of the Undying.
To Canva then.
We'll talk about this later.
Imagine if we like went to old towns and people walked up to us and they were like, hey, and they like, gave us potions or something. That would actually be like kind of something for the badges to do. Anyways, curious about your thoughts about Annabelle's demise. Watched the VOD and I see you had a similar reaction seeing her being built up so much. I was a bit underwhelmed when she just offed herself without so we didn't get proper closure, it feels. Yeah, I felt the same exact way. I still think that it was done well in terms of like it makes sense that that's how her story ends. Like I don't think it was bad. I don't think it was like, wow, they really blew it. But I do feel like it was a bit underwhelming. Like it could have been better, or just we could have had a bit more closure. Or I think really it's with Clive. I think we didn't really get to see Clive interact with her much. I mean, they did have an argument right before that. I think what really threw me off was they built her up so much that I was waiting for this moment where we went after her and then maybe had to fight like a million enemies, and then we finally get to her and we open up the door and she's sitting on the throne and she's like blah blah blah, and then they have their talk and then she sends some monster at us and then we kill her or she offs herself or whatever. But instead we were in the middle of doing something else and we open the door and she's just like there. You know what I mean? So like I think that's what really threw it off. It wasn't necessarily the way she died, but it was like the way we got to her was weird because we were fighting Bahamut or getting ready to fight Bahamut. And then she just kind of was like there. We just like open the door. She was just like there. So I think that was part of it. I think if maybe we at least found her in the throne room or something. Like maybe if we had fought Bahamut, which I'm not saying this would have been better, but if we had fought Bahamut and then we got to like the throne room and it was like falling apart and she was like holding on to the throne, like I won't leave or something, you know what I mean? Instead of just being in some random house, because I'm pretty sure it was just like a house. We were just like in a random house. We were just trying to get out of the city. It was just like there. So I think that was maybe the big part. It was like the location felt weird, you know? Maybe not necessarily the scene. Because we did get the scene. I mean, Clive said what he had to say, and Joshua said what he had to say, and it made sense that she would go insane, and it made sense that she would off herself. Like, all of it made sense. I don't think it was like to the point where I would say it ruined the character or anything, but I do think it just could have been done a bit better. The palace outside the heart, okay. But yeah, not the throne room or anything. I can't remember what that room looked like. I was way too focused on the characters. But yeah. No, yeah, there's something to be said about like how it shows her entire power was her tongue. You know? And as soon as we're in front of her and she's lost her ability to talk her way out of things, she's powerless. So powerless, in fact, that she just offs herself, you know? So, like, there's something to be said about her arc and how that fits. But after all the build-up and all the awesome evil moments, it would have been great to actually have like a fight against her or against a monster she created or something, you know, just like some kind of like boss that had to do with her and not just we fought Bahamut and now she's dead, you know. No, I totally agree. I know what you're saying. I feel the same way just because I loved the build up so much. But I do feel like it fit also. I'm sad that it felt underwhelming, but I also think it fit perfectly with her character. And yeah, a bit Shakespearean in a way, where she lost her power, and that's all she knew. That's all she knew was her power and her lineage. So when she lost that, she was gone. You know? And like I said before, I loved the moment where she put her dagger up to her throat, and then she stopped for a second. And then she did it. If she had done it like instantly, then there'd be part of us that felt like, oh, she just kind of acted out of like instinct. And if maybe she had a second, there would have been more to that conversation. But it wasn't instinct. It was like, I'm done. Like this, everything I've lived for is gone. I'm done. You know what I mean? Like she chose. It wasn't like she would want to take it back, you know? Like she chose that. So like that made it better. If she had just instantly done it, I would have felt like, they kind of threw that away. Like there should have been more. But the fact that she kind of waited and did it makes me feel like that was her finale. That was her the final thing to be said about her character was like, that's all she had. That's all she cared about. She was willing to, I mean, we knew that she was already willing to throw away her entire kingdom just for that thought of staying pure and staying on top. So when she knew she couldn't anymore, that was it. And it's believable to me that she felt that way, you know? So, like I said, I think it fits. Just a bit underwhelming, I guess. Could have been different. Yeah, I am kind of curious, like, had she realized Joshua was real, if that would have been enough to make her want to stay alive. But I think she already knew where Joshua lied. Like, I think she knew even if Joshua was alive, she wouldn't be able to get him on her side. Yeah, not only that, but I think Ultima kind of played her too. We still don't really know. I don't know if you heard my other my theory about what happened with Olivier, but I think Ultima, it seems like Ultima took control of Olivier without her knowledge, actually. So that's interesting to think about as well. She kind of got played for how evil and smart and devious she was. She still got played by Ultima, so it's like she kind of failed as a villain. So what I had said was there'd be cool if there's a scene where we find out that Annabelle couldn't conceive and made a deal with Ultima to create Olivier. I thought that would be a cool way to connect it. But I don't think that's the case. I think she actually just didn't even know. But I thought that would be cool. Yeah, it would like cement her craziness and cement her like, I'm willing to do anything to have a child of pure blood, blah, blah, blah. So like, I thought it would be cool if like she gave up her whole kingdom so that she could have a son with Sylvester, and they just couldn't physically conceive, and then she's like, oh no, and then Ultima pops up and he's like, I can help. I feel like that would have been a cool like way to connect that. But instead it seems like at some point Ultima took control of Olivier and we just don't get to know when that happened, which is a bit unfortunate unless it's revealed to us later. But I don't think it will be because it's kind of a moot point at this point. But I thought that would have been cool. That's my fan theory of what happened. But I don't think it's true because it seemed like she was... I don't know. Like when Olivier died, she didn't look shocked. So maybe it's still a possible fan theory. But yeah, what also is kind of interesting is there's a bit of what if with Annabelle. What if she knew that Joshua was real? What if she didn't off herself? And in the same way, there's a bunch of what ifs in terms of Sylvester. What if Sylvester didn't jump in front of the spear and it hit Olivier, and Olivier burst into dust and he was like, oh my God, that wasn't actually my son. Would Sylvester, would he have realized the error of his ways or whatever, you know? So like there's a lot of tragedy there. It's very Shakespearean, you know, like you said, it's very Shakespearean in that there's a lot of, what do they call that? The type of tragedy where the viewer knows, but the character doesn't. I knew the word, but it just escaped me. But there's a lot of tragedy there with them, like, if that hadn't have happened, maybe it could have turned out different. But that's the way it happened, and we have to deal with the consequences kind of thing. So it's interesting. That whole thing was like this giant Hamlet tragedy, yeah. Dramatic irony, that's what it's called, yeah. So, like, there's this whole tragedy thing where, like, it could have gone better. Sylvester could have come over to our side. Dion could have come over to our side and not blown up the city. Everything could have happened differently, but the way it happened is the way it happened, and we have to deal with the consequences. The only positive coming out of it is that Dion might actually be alive. But other than that, everything else was a tragedy, you know? So, it's interesting. And maybe that's part of why they did it that way. It was like, we wanted closure with Annabelle, but we didn't get it. And that's part of the tragedy, is that it didn't go the way we as the viewer wanted it to go. So there's something to be said about that, too. Hold on. Let's let them talk.
You certainly keep strange bedfellows, Joshua.
I'm not sure what Clive's issue is. Why can't Joshua have partners? Maybe he's questioning their loyalty. I think that might be it, honestly. Because they did kind of just pop out of nowhere. I don't know if he knew about that. I don't think he did know about them when he was back in the day. Anyways, we are going to stop here. It's a good place to stop. Really awesome day today. I do think that we're probably not going to finish by the time I go on vacation, but that's totally fine because that'll give everyone a chance to finish. So I'll just keep playing at my same pace. I'm going to keep doing all the side quests, all the hunts as they come up. Wherever we get to is wherever we get to. And then we have 2 more days, Tuesday and Wednesday. And then we're still streaming Friday, but it's going to be a double day of 13 so that we have episodes for the vacation. So that'll be it for 16 until the next Monday. So we'll see how far we get. And as for today's session, man, Bahamut was so cool. I love that whole thing. My only gripe is that we didn't get to fight Dion, but I kind of see why now because he's still alive. But you know, if I could have my cake and eat it too, I would love to have had a Dion fight, a semi-prime Dion fight, and a fully prime Bahamut fight, and then everything else played out as normal. Just because I really love those fights. Really love those human fights. I think they work best with the mechanics in the game. And the Benedicta, I keep wanting to call her Belladicta, and I keep wanting to call Annabelle Annadicta. But her fight and Kupka's fight were staged that way, and it worked really, really well. So I wanted to see that with Bahamut too. But that fight was so epic that it was like worth it. And like I said, everything that came afterwards, it's exciting. I'm starting to really like how they're hyping up Odin. At first I was a bit confused how Odin could be stronger than Bahamut. Not really confused, but you know, usually it's like Bahamut's the strongest or the most epic summon. So I was like, how are they going to make Odin feel more epic than Bahamut? Bahamut took both Phoenix and Ifrit to take down. You know, how are they going to hype up Odin? And then they hyped him up pretty well. Like, I'm interested to see where they go because he seems pretty strong. So, and plus he's, you know, with Ultima too, so we gotta see how that pans out. But yeah, excited to see what comes up. For now, thanks for watching Let's Play Final Fantasy XVI, and we'll see you in the next episodes. Peace.